Sigma, in conversation with Ebbe Groes, co-founder and CEO of Everymatrix.
Well, it's early days. Africa, we have now entered via our acquisition of FSB Technologies. They came to us with more than a handful of clients spread across Africa. Without revealing too much, I can say that this already now is giving us results on the sales. So having this presence makes a massive difference when it comes to then starting the sales process. When we speak to somebody, they know that we are committed. We now have established an office in South Africa. We have a local team there, getting support from our European offices. So this part really seems to work quite well. It's early days. As I said, we haven't even been the owner of FSB for a year yet. It's only been 9 months. But I can see that within this year, we'll start signing significant deals in Africa. For LatAm, we are one step behind there. We went in too slow, too late. So what we need to do there is something similar. We need to win the first deals, show that we are serious, show that we're backing it up. And I hope soon to be announcing what will be our budget. Yeah, but it goes across the board, and you're right. Brazil has rightly been mentioned very heavily, but maybe people sometimes ignore other countries that actually are even further along. Peru, Colombia, Argentina, with a bit more state-by-state approach, of course. But yeah, so it is a very diverse market, and one makes a huge mistake by just combining it all and say, yeah, it's all a Brazil story. Of course, Brazil deserves its mention, but understanding the heterogeneity of that landscape as it is in Europe, that I think will be key for us, and I hope we will get that right. I would very much hope that this would be the case. Of course, it makes life easier for me and for the operators, but my hopes are not, I don't hope my hopes too high. When I look at the European scene, where you have a strong European Union with many things getting harmonized in many different areas, free labor market, consumer protection in many different areas. This is one area that's kept completely aside, with old privileges being enforced in country after country, which gives a lot of headaches and a lot of challenges for operators. I fear it will be the same in Africa. The big benefit is that there is a little bit less of the existing privileges and a little bit more openness, I believe, to doing things in a more harmonious way. But once the revenues start coming in and you have more of a battle between states and between operators, and you have local operators trying to protect their local situation, this is when things start to get messy. So I fully expect it will be, but let's cross our fingers that it will be nice and smooth. What I would like to see, I think, is that regulators would appreciate that there are limits to what you can do, which are bound by the flight of players to non-regulated operators. This is an ongoing battle, and if you do not allow the operators in your country to produce a competitive product, and there are some countries where the product simply is not competitive, then you've lost the battle from day one. You must be able to allow the operators to give something that is competitive. Then you can raise the taxes. Then you can still have all of the safer gambling. Indeed, if you don't, then what are you going to protect if you're forcing the players elsewhere simply because the product is not competitive? So this is one thing I would like to see, then, is that allow the regulated operators to be competitive. For us, the jury's out a little bit. We made 2 significant acquisitions last year, and I really would like to see them both coming through and being big successes. And they may or they may not. So for us, it's still a learning process. We did deals that were sort of bite-sized. We were able to do these acquisitions based on our own cash. So this is dramatically different from when you go out, you borrow a lot of money, and then it must work. In this case, I have the luxury of it can fail, and then we lost some money, but nothing that we couldn't afford. So in a way, we are like the gambler who sets aside some money and says, I can afford to lose this, and if it's fun and it's going well, I can continue. So this is a bit how we're treating until now. I'll say I'm cautiously optimistic, of course, that what we're doing works, and provided that it does, then yes, we will have appetite for doing more. I think not, and I think at least not within maybe in a 5-year horizon. But if you look at the set of companies that listed in a wave of big listings that happened 3, 4, 5 years ago, then some of them today are struggling, and I believe probably wish that they were not listed, exposing themselves, being open to attacks, hostile takeovers, whatnot, having to expose their frailties where they are. It shows to me that if we were going to list, we would have to reach such a high level that we could take a significant hit and still be an attractive company. It means we have to build even more of a buffer than we have today. We can survive such a hit, and if we can say, yes, I can lose some very large clients, or I can somehow lose access to a large market that stops gambling or some such thing. If we can take some big external hits and still have a good company, that would be my criteria for doing an IPO, and I think we are not there yet.